This is the first time a Mexican national has been indicted in the United States for allegedly supporting a foreign terrorist organization.
America, check this out. A Mexican woman just became the first person in U.S. history to face terrorism charges for helping the cartel. And she was caught with a golden AR-15 while smuggling grenades to one of Mexico's deadliest organizations. But here's what's really shocking. This is just the beginning of Trump's new strategy to treat cartels like the terrorist organizations they are. What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This case represents a massive shift on how America is fighting cartels. For too long, we've treated these organizations like simple drug dealers instead of the terrorist armies they've become. In this video, I'm breaking down the historic case, the new legal framework Trump is using, and why this could be an absolute game changer we finally need to take down these cartels. Let me break this down for you. Maria del Rosa Navarro Sanchez. Shout out to my last name individuals. 39-year-old Mexican citizen, also known as Chayo, just made history as the first person to face charges for providing material support to terrorist organizations in connection with cartel activities.
A Mexican national accused of supplying grenades, trafficking firearms, and smuggling migrants on behalf of one of Mexico's most violent cartels, now facing terrorism charges.
This isn't just another drug case. Sanchez was allegedly working directly with Jalisco's New Generation Cartel, CJNG, one of Mexico's most powerful and violent criminal organizations that was recently designated as a foreign terrorist organization. These charges are extensive: conspiracy to provide grenades to the cartel, providing guns for them, smuggling cash across the border, and moving drugs. But what makes this case unprecedented is that she's being charged under terrorist statute, not just drug trafficking laws. When Mexican authorities arrested her on May 4th, they found something that perfectly symbolizes the militarization of these cartels: a golden AR-15 style assault rifle. This wasn't just about drugs anymore. This was about weapons of war.
She allegedly arranged the purchase of 20 AK-47s, .50 caliber rifles, and attempted to send grenades to the cartel.
This case follows President Trump's February 2025 designation of 8 Latin American criminal groups, including 6 Mexican cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. This expanded terrorism laws beyond traditional political groups to include these criminal armies. This designation isn't just symbolic, it is a base of the reality of what these cartels have become. The CJNG isn't just selling drugs, they're running military operations that terrorize entire regions of Mexico and increasingly threaten American communities.
And to make sure that the narco traffickers, and make no mistake, this administration has labeled them foreign terrorist organizations because that's what they are. There is no lethal force on planet Earth that is responsible for an overdose death of an American citizen every 7 minutes, more so than these federal terrorist organizations.
The evidence shows cartels engaging in activities go far beyond traditional organized crime. They control territories, run their own courts, collect taxes, and use violence to terrorize civilian populations and perhaps entice the Mexican government. This is exactly what terrorist organizations do.
These criminals are pivotal players in an extensive web of organized crime that crosses borders, devastating communities through the distribution of deadly drugs and inciting chaos and violence.
And it's not just Mexican nationals that are involved. As we covered before, there are Americans working for these cartels, conducting straw buying operations, running money laundering schemes, and helping them move weapons and drugs across the border. The majority of these arms seized at Mexican crime scenes come from the United States, with Americans conducting these straw purchasing operations. Sanchez herself was charged with this exact crime, arranging the purchase of 20 AK-47 style rifles and .50 caliber weapons.
Investigators found she arranged the purchase of 20 AK-47 style rifles and 2 .50 caliber weapons and attempted to supply grenades to the cartel.
This case came just 2 days after the Mexican cartel leaders were charged with narco terrorism in San Diego, showing this is a part of a coordinated crackdown using these new terrorism authorities. What makes this case so significant is that it represents a fundamental shift on how Americans approach the cartel threats. For decades, we treated cartels as a law enforcement problem. Now they're treating them for what they actually are: terrorist organizations threatening our national security.
So they are now designated as terrorist organizations, foreign, and Mexico probably doesn't want that.
It's true that this was probably not how Mexico wanted to start the new bilateral relationship with U.S. President Donald Trump. His decision to designate drug cartels as terrorist organizations gives the U.S. government broader power to use military action against these criminal groups.
The use of terrorism charges against cartel associates marks a significant shift on how U.S. prosecutes drug-related crimes. Instead of facing traditional drug trafficking penalties, cartel supporters now face a full weight of anti-terrorism laws, potentially carrying out much harsher penalties. The new framework allows prosecutors to go after entire support networks, not just the people directly moving drugs. Anyone providing quote-unquote material support to designated terrorist organizations, whether that's weapons, money, or logistical assistance, can now face terrorism charges.
6 individuals and 7 groups that they say have been supporting the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. They say this was a coordinated action with the government of Mexico. The sanctions are a result of that, and they say the Sinaloa cartel is responsible for a significant portion of fentanyl in particular and other drugs crossing the southern border into the U.S.
And this isn't just about Mexican nationals. These laws apply equally to American citizens who provide support to designated cartels. If you're helping laundering money, buy weapons, or provide any assistance to these organizations, you could face terrorism charges. This case is being prosecuted in the Western District of Texas, where authorities credit El Paso-based Operation Southbound Task Force for helping bring Sanchez into custody. This shows the kind of coordinated federal response that's now possible under the new framework.
Now, 2 others have also been charged. Officials call it part of a broader crackdown led by the El Paso's Operation Southbound Task Force.
This case also highlights the direct connection between our border crisis and national security. Investigators found cash, drugs, and migrants were funneled through El Paso via a cross-border tunnel. This isn't about drugs anymore. These cartels are running sophisticated operations that include human trafficking, weapons smuggling, and money laundering, all flowing through the porous southern border.
Now, authorities say the weapons and cash were funneled through the El Paso area, where a man-made tunnel linking Ciudad Juárez to El Paso was also used to smuggle migrants.
The fact that this operation was moving migrants alongside weapons and drugs shows how cartels have diversified their criminal enterprise. Not just drug dealers, they're running a full spectrum of a criminal organization that profits from every aspect of the illegal border crossing.
President Claudia Sheinbaum has sought to redefine cartels as less of a Mexican problem and more of a bilateral one, fueled by American addiction and weapons, and insisting it will not be solved with unilateral measures.
And the cooperation from Mexico's new administration has been absolutely crucial. Mexico's willingness to help with the cartel operations and arrest individuals like Sanchez indicates improved bilateral cooperation under Trump's new approach. This definitely represents the stark contrast between the previous administration's approach, where cartels operated with relative impunity while Biden was sleeping and getting ice cream. The Biden administration focused more on processing migrants than stopping criminal organization. The message is clear. If you support these terrorist organizations, whether you're Mexican or American, you'll face the full force of American law enforcement and our anti-terrorism capabilities. This case establishes a legal precedent that could dramatically increase penalties for anyone providing support to these designated cartel organizations. The implications are massive. Every American citizen involved in straw purchasing, money laundering, or any other support of these cartels could now face terrorism charges instead of simple criminal charges. The penalties are exponentially higher. This means that financial institutions, businesses, and individuals knowingly facilitate cartel operations could face terrorism-related sanctions and charges. The entire support network is now at risk. The use of artificial intelligence and advanced investigative techniques combined with these new terrorism authorities give law enforcement unprecedented tools to dismantle these type of networks. With a little bit of Mexico's cooperation, we're finally seeing the kind of coordinated response that's necessary to take down these organizations that operate across international borders. America, this case represents a fundamental shift on how we fight cartels. For too long, we treated these organizations like traditional criminal enterprises when they were actual terrorist armies that control territories, terrorize populations, and threaten our national security. Maria Sanchez's case is just the beginning. By treating cartel organizations as the terrorist organizations they are, we can finally use the full power of American law enforcement and intelligence capabilities against them. This isn't just about one woman smuggling a golden AR-15. This is about sending a message to every cartel associate, every money launderer, every weapons trafficker, and every American who thinks that they can profit from these terrorist organizations. We are coming for you.
The FBI will follow in every corner of this country and every square centimeter of this planet to eradicate the narco traffickers and the foreign terrorist organization that are killing American citizens. They will be held accountable, We will take preventive measures, and we will scour the ends of the earth to find every single one of them.
The precedent is now set. The cooperation with Mexico is improving. The message is clear. If you support cartels, you're supporting terrorism, and you will be prosecuted as such. Too long, these cartels have operated in impunity, flooding our communities with fentanyl, trafficking humans, and corrupting our institutions. But this case shows the Trump administration is serious about treating this as a threat with the gravity that it deserves. I'll keep you updated on this story as it develops, and remember, this is what happens when we finally treat cartel threats as the national security issue that it's always been. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the